Emergency! Won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today's show is another
For the Stepdads.
Oh, your wilting old stepdads are here in the humidity of California.
The funny thing is, it's not nearly as hot here as it is everywhere else.
No, it's nice, but I'm an old man.
Yeah.
And I keep saying this, and I do this like at the bank or anywhere I go.
Yeah.
I'm like, it never used to be this humid in California. What the hell happened?
But it didn't. I mean, it wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
And it's like Florida now. I mean,
It's not Florida, but it's definitely
gross.
more humid than it used to be.
You know, I'll take a walk, and it'll be, nice and cool in the 70s, but the humidity, by the time you get back, you're all wet.
Oh, it
from
doesn't
your
matter.
Sweat.
Halfway through my morning walk, when it's 61 degrees outside, I'm like halfway through. I'm like, okay, now it's time to get really wet and moist.
Ugh.
Yum.
Oh, ASMR.
Yum.
Yeah, so there's your weather report.
But hey, it could be worse. They're breaking records for heat in like New England and stuff.
Oh, it's nasty.
It's like 110 degrees there, which it never is.
Like the Iron Dome. They're calling it something like the
Heat Dome.
The Heat Dome.
Yeah, which is funny because I heard about that growing up all the time with family living in Tucson because there would be a heat dome every summer over Arizona.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen in New England. And now they're like, oh, well, it's shrinking today, so it's going to be not as bad. It's like, oh, the highs in D.C. are only 100.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it's still humid as hell there.
Just drink a lot of water if you're in those areas. Stay inside.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of your elderly parents.
Yes, make sure they have water.
Make sure your elderly neighbors are okay. Do a little wellness check.
Yeah.
Bring them a...
Hey, Mrs. Johnson, you okay?
Little knocky knock.
I brought you some maple squares.
And then if they don't answer, kick the door down.
Their neighbor was a Canadian. I didn't know if you noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they brought maple squares, eh?
Yeah.
For your delight.
Okay, so thank you for pointing that out. Yes.
Hey, man. I'm a fan of Canada. I'm a fan of Canada.
It's a good place. A lot of great people come
Have you
from
been?
Canada.
Have you been to Canada?
Nope.
I've been to Canada a couple of times. At least when I went, Montreal had the nicest, most polite prostitutes I have ever met in my life. Now, not that I frequented them, but they were on the street, and they were just like, "Hi, how you doing, eh? You want a little company? I don't mean to bother you, but maybe I'd like to have some company, maybe a little cuddle."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, thanks, but
Not
you're
like-
just adorable."
Unlike the American prostitutes that just throw you on the ground, take your money, and then run away.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, how's it going, eh? You looking for a snuggle?
It's really funny because I literally grew up like 5 hours away from Canada, and I've never been there.
It's beautiful. I haven't been in years and years, but when I was in Boston, I went up there a few times and
Oh, yeah.
really, really enjoyed it. And
I've heard Montreal's really great.
beautiful. And I have friends that have moved there, expats.
Yeah. I knew a couple of people that moved to Toronto, and this was like 12 years ago, and I was like, that seems a little out of place. And then it's like, no, man, they were just ahead of the curve.
Well, I'm moving to Toronto to be an actor, eh? Because they send all theirs over here. I'm going to go over there.
It's about time we had the reverse invasion.
The reverse Canada.
I'm going to go be a Canadian TV star.
I'm going to be the funniest guy in Canada.
Yeah, because all their funny guys leave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, what a fun month. It was our June Doom 4.
Oh, man. We were way too prophetic with June Doom this month.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Not just movie dooms.
No.
We may be doomed. Let's hope not. But holy moly, man. What an interesting month.
Yes.
Now, I'm glad we started with Under the Rainbow because it was the least interesting of the
It
bunch.
was the worst by far.
Interesting in the way of, like, how the F was this made?
Yeah. It was made on a false premise
Yes.
and just went downhill from there.
And just annihilated everybody that was in it.
Yeah.
Nobody came out unscathed. Poor little Billy Barty.
So bad.
Poor Carrie Fisher.
It was so offensively bad.
Well, what really bothers me is 2 months in a row. Or
Yeah.
no, not in a row, but 2 months we've done
Yeah.
poor Carrie Fisher wrong, baby.
I know.
This and Loverboy. We gotta
Oh my God, Loverboy was like Citizen Kane compared to Under the Rainbow.
Jesus. Yeah, we have to do like postcards from the edge or something to make it up to her.
Yes.
But but yeah, I again, I remember seeing that movie, and even as a child, being like, "This is a horribly racist piece of crap."
What is going on here? I came in for laughs.
Yeah, but conversely, Hot to Trot, big surprise.
I was so shocked by how much I still enjoy that movie.
That movie, it's funny. Friend of the show, Jules Brudeck, she was on our VCR show many moons ago. She engaged about that. She's like, I got it on VHS. I love that movie. I love me some talking horses. And she's not wrong.
True. It's
but
true.
again, it was like charming in a way. John Candy was great. It's so funny. 2 more John Candy movies on the pile.
I know. It's crazy. We just can't get away from John Candy.
And even in June Doom, even in these doomy, gloomy, crappy movies, he comes out unscathed. He's great.
Oh, he's still great. Yeah.
He was hilarious as the horse. And that is a thankless role.
Yeah. Don. Sorry, Don. I was thinking of Ed.
Mr. Ed?
Mr. Ed, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I confused the 2 talking horses that are famous.
The only 2 talking horses. Except for BoJack Horseman.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, he was great.
He was great.
Little chubby Bobcat Goldthwait was
he was really
cute.
funny.
Yeah.
And like he showed range in that movie.
He had charm and likability that they excised from him and everything else he did in the 80s.
Well, he did too many of the Police Academy movies. Yeah. Kind of cemented him being the crazy guy.
Spazzy Joe.
Yeah, Spazzy Joe.
So that was fun. And then, Nothing But Trouble just made me sad.
It was so disappointing.
Because I just felt so badly for Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah. They did him dirty, hard.
There's always going to be a soft spot in my heart for Dan Aykroyd. He's one of my favorites.
He seems so relatable and so likable.
Yeah.
And I wish I had known him back in the day and grown up with him. You know, he just seems like that guy that would be friends with you forever.
A loyal MFer.
Yeah.
I told the story of him, helping hawk weed with Jim Belushi, and he didn't have to do that. He seems like a John Candy type. A guy that realizes how fortunate he is, doesn't take it for granted, and has had a lot of loss and pain, and decided to live and love life.
I feel like he's constantly surprised by his career. Just they're letting me make this stuff? Okay.
Well, it's great, and it's great to see him back doing Ghostbuster stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they doing another Ghostbusters movie?
I haven't heard anything. I would assume the movie made a lot of money, so I would assume so.
Well, if they do another one, they need to pare down a bit and get back to basics. Because I thought that the last one was a bit bloated and kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mess. It was very much kind of a Ghostbusters 2, which granted means that maybe in 20 years it'll be better than we remember.
Because there'll be so many bad movies in the next 20 years.
But I agree. I definitely, of the new movies, the first one was much better.
Because it was a lot more intimate. It was different. Yeah. It kind of captured that, that feeling of the first one, which was just a group of guys getting together to do something that becomes bigger than them.
Yeah. And I'm utterly convinced that in Frozen Empire they just stuck Paul Rudd in, not knowing what to do with him.
Oh, poor Paul Rudd.
He was just stuck out like a sore thumb.
You got to be careful, man. Paul Rudd, Pedro Pascal, you guys.
You know what? I disagree. I think I watched the new trailer just dropped today for the new Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that movie.
Yeah, Fantastic Four has a very deep... It's very deeply ingrained in my comic book DNA.
Sure.
It was one of the... I was weird, man. When I was a kid, I loved Iron Man. Mm-hmm. I loved Fantastic Four, the Hulk, and Spider-Man. Mm. And I think those were my mains.
Yeah.
And then I read other comic books and stuff, too. Sure. Star Wars comics, all that. But the Hulk, number one.
Yeah.
The Hulk was my favorite superhero of all time just because I related to him. I wish I could turn into the Hulk because of my rage as a baby boy. Right. But the Fantastic Four I always loved because of the gadgets, the cars, and the the 50s futuristic.
Yeah, which is
the retro sci-fi.
The movie is very much capturing that.
That I see. I just am not sold yet. I'm not sold on the cast.
You got to watch the new trailer.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And I'm still not sold on the cast. I'm really not sold on Pedro as Mr. Fantastic. And I love Pedro Pascal. It just, I'm wary, and I understand that it also comes from a place of preciousness with me, and being let down over and over and over again at every attempt to film it. It's always been a mess.
I believe the opposite. I think that he's probably going to be the best Reed Richards, because to me, Reed Richards was always kind of a stuffed shirt.
Yeah.
And was always kind of like he was cool. He was a rubber guy.
Yeah.
But he was always that okay. And I don't know. To me, I'm getting that vibe from the movie.
I hope it's good. I don't want it to be bad.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm still not convinced. I'm just saying. I am really excited, though, for the Superman movie. That one looks really fun to me.
Looks really good.
And I love the fact that it's all new folks. I'm hoping Nicholas Hoult will shake off the cobwebs he had from The Order. And and put in a good performance. I'm a little. He's kind of the one that I'm a little bit worried about.
I would agree. But I think that's more the fact that I'm just kind of tired of the whole Lex Luthor thing.
Yeah.
There's so many other villains. There's so many other, that make Superman interesting. Yeah. And Luthor can be interesting, but, to me, always forever, the pinnacle of beyond Gene Hackman, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Is, what's his name from the Lois and Clark? I'm sorry, Yeah, was it Lois and Clark? Anyway, he played the son. He was bald. He's done a ton of stuff.
He's got a podcast now.
Yes, yes.
Ruben, or it's something?
Something like that. Smallville.
It
was Smallville. And the name that we were thinking of is...
Michael...
Yo, you're close. Michael Rosenbaum. Yeah. So Smallville, the Lex Luthor Michael Rosenbaum, to me, he was the best modern... Lex Luthor.
Well, he was really interesting because he had a lot of daddy issues.
Yes, but it was interesting, and they explored him more, and it's
and it's a series, so you have a lot more leeway.
You have time to go through character development.
But wasn't Kevin Spacey? Didn't he play him?
Yeah, in the J.J. Abrams one, not J.J. Abrams, Bryan
Singer,
the Bryan Singer one. Yeah,
right. Superman is tough. He's a tough one, man, because Christopher Reeve is a hard dude to beat.
That first movie from 1978 is so perfect and so amazing.
It's still, to this day, is the best Superman, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
And I would say Superman 2 even tops that.
Yeah, Superman 2 is great.
Those two movies are just ridiculous. And Christopher Reeve was Superman.
He embodied it.
Not only a great Superman, which the Superman part is hard because he's such a square little Boy Scout.
Yeah.
But he had so much fun playing Clark Kent. He plays him clumsy and
it's great.
It was so much fun
because he had great comedy chops.
Yeah,
and he captured that.
Such a good actor. Such a tragedy with that man.
Oh my God, his whole family just tragic.
So tragic. But yeah, that guy will always be my Superman. And but the new kid I really like.
The new guy looks really good. I don't remember his name.
Anybody does.
I think he's Australian or
Probably.
something. But just from the last trailer with the whole interview scene of him with Clark, or him as Superman, and then Lois, the whole back and forth, I was like, okay, I see where he's going with this, and I see what they're doing with it.
It's got a Donner vibe mixed with really comic book vibe.
Yes.
And this one, the reason why I'm so excited about James Gunn taking over is that he's such a comic book nerd.
Yeah.
And he'll go deep, and you can see with,
the reference is obvious.
Yeah. Mr. Fantastic or Mr. Majestic. Is it Mr. Fantastic?
No, Mr. Fantastic was from Fantastic Four.
Or what is that guy? Mr. Super Dude? I don't know, whatever.
Super Dude?
Anyway, there's a lot of deep cuts, and you got the dog, Mr. Majestic. That's
are you talking about Mr. Mixelplistic or whatever? He does some deep cuts, and it's just obvious he loves the source.
And the Guy Gardner version of
with the awful bull haircut.
But that's right out of the comic books.
I know.
And he's such a weird character too, and it'll be interesting and perfect casting.
Oh, yes. Are you kidding me?
And
He's
so
such
good.
a nerd. It's so funny.
And they're such good friends.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And I'm very excited. The new Peacemaker season's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, which looks really fun.
It does. I really enjoyed the first season of that.
Really curious as to where it's going to go.
Yeah, same. But it's everything that he's done so far. You know, the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
The Monsters.
The Monster Soldiers or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah.
The cartoon was really good.
Can't remember the name, but very good cartoon. But everything he's done so far, I've really, really enjoyed. And he is exactly what DC needs. It doesn't need, some overblown artist who thinks he's, God's gift to cinema.
We did the dark stuff, and then they overcorrected with Zack Snyder, and it was just bad.
Yeah.
So it's like they did the best decision that Warner Brothers has made in a long time was giving it to James Gunn.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hope it's successful. I think it will be. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting movies coming out this summer. The Predator movie, I think, is that coming out this summer?
Yes, I think it's the end of the summer, if I remember right.
I'm really excited about that. I've heard mixed things about 28 years later, but I'm still excited to see it.
I'm curious to see it. I mean, I'm definitely going to watch it. I don't know if I'll see it in the theater.
I won't see it in the theater,
But yeah, I'm curious to watch it. I mean, it's I love the writer and director, so like it's hard to not,
Every article I see though is about the prosthetic dong that some
spoilers,
some dead guy has, and how it was so weird. The reason why they had to use a prosthetic is because if you're filming in front of children, you can't have real genitals. They have to be fake genitals, which they look like real genitals, so I don't know. Seems a little bit like tomato.
Just make them bigger and more scary.
And that's it. Everybody was just kind of like, ugh, this is weird. And apparently the actor's a hugger, and he's like, I couldn't really hug anybody. And it's like, well, nobody wanted to hug you anyway because you look like a gross zombie with your ween hanging.
Giant schlong hanging out.
Anyway, but it makes sense. I mean, they've been around for 28 years. They're not going to be putting clothes on. It's like, the zombies are fashionistas.
Right. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm excited to see it, but yeah, it's not one that I'm necessarily going to see in the theater.
Yeah. Well, speaking of movies, did you watch anything this month?
Not really.
Well, we did watch Predator Hunters and Hunted, or Preys and Prayers, or what was it?
Yeah. Hunters of Prey or Prey of something.
It was great.
It was fantastic.
It was absolutely fantastic. It's animated. Don't let that scare you because it's so brutal.
Good. It's so good.
And a really great bridge that kind of connects all of the Predator movies in a way that is really interesting.
Yeah.
And lends itself to a bunch of different stories being told with old characters coming back.
Right.
I just hope that they do another animated movie and bring back. Oh, it'd be great to see Danny Glover.
Oh, I know.
And Amber Midthunder and
it was so clever.
Arnold.
So clever. I'm really curious to see where they go with it, and it's taking it in a whole new direction that I had no idea. Yeah, and it's so good. I'm so excited.
It seems like it's going to be like vignettes, but it's 3 interconnected stories that come together in a climax that's really fun. Definitely watch that if you haven't.
It's very good. It's very good. I did watch The Black Phone, finally. I realized that movie came out like 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
I really enjoyed that movie.
I did too. I was really surprised. It felt very, very Stephen King.
Yeah.
I mean, I realized it was based off a story from his son, but it felt very much that way. And then... And what prompted me was that knowing that there was a sequel coming out, which I had no idea.
It looks cool, too.
It looks really interesting. Yeah. And it's that Mason Thames, I think, who plays the main kid, the one that does the phone. He's in the new How to Train Your Dragon. Had no idea it was the same guy.
Oh.
Like, he was like 13 when he did The Black Phone.
Why are they making a How to Train Your Dragon live? I'm so sick of these live-action cartoon movies.
It looks fun. I mean, whatever. It looks better than all the other Disney... Well, it's not a Disney thing, but it looks better than the Disney shit.
Yeah, it's just so bereft of creativity to keep remaking these animated movies.
Hollywood bereft of creativity? What do you mean?
Well, I will say that the one thing that really bothered me about the cartoons, which I enjoyed, was I do like Jay... what's his Barenthal?
Barenthal?
I don't know, because I get him confused with the dude from Walking Dead.
No, you're thinking of John Barenthal.
But it's like something like Barenthal.
It's Jay. Yeah, it's Jay.
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew.
I don't. he's not a voice. Like, the thing that's compelling about him is not his voice. It's,
Right.
So shut the F up. Sorry.
Baruchel. Jay
And
Baruchel.
I really like him as an actor. I just don't like him as a voice actor.
Yeah, I mean, he was fine. His voice isn't recognizable enough that I was like, oh, it's Jay Baruchel or whatever.
To me, it's super recognizable. Anyway, it's weird. Quick speed bump. I told you this. While you guys were camping, I decided to watch a few old movies that I hadn't seen in a while, and see if they were Ghostbusters 2 or nothing but trouble. So I watched Tropic Thunder.
Yeah,
which I loved.
Yeah,
and it does not hold up, man.
Yeah,
it's just not really funny.
Oh, that's too bad.
And it sucks because I forgot, Bill Hader. I forgot he was in it.
There's a ton of people in that movie.
Everybody's in it, but it just comes across kind of mean and
really,
and just I don't know. It didn't click with me the way because I loved it when it came out.
Right,
and
it was funny.
Yeah, it was.
It was very much a movie of its time.
But that's the thing. It definitely was a movie of its time, and I'm realizing that evergreen comedies are pretty rare, man.
Yeah. Not everything can be. It's a mad world.
Mad. It was kind of sad. But I did watch. I watched the Minecraft movie.
Oh yeah,
with Jack Black and Jason Momoa. And you know what? I've never played Minecraft. I really don't know anything about. I don't have children, and I'm not a weirdo, so I've never played Minecraft.
Plenty of adults play Minecraft.
Sure, they play Roblox too.
No.
Yeah, they're playing anyway.
It was supposed to be for adults.
Oh well,
Minecraft. It got taken over by the kids.
It was fun. It was fun. If you're looking for a dopey, turn your brain off, fun, stupid comedy, it's it.
Right.
Jack Black is funny. Jason Momoa it's one of probably my favorite performances he's given.
Yeah.
Just because he plays this, he plays a guy that was the champion of a video game in the 80s.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it all stopped. And so he's just this loser who owns this, rundown video game store. And he's still thinks he's the shit, but he's definitely not. And he's just really funny and he's great.
Is it based off of the Billy character from the King of Kong documentary?
Maybe. But he was fun. Jack Black was fun. I really didn't understand a lot of it,
Yeah. There's so many references, even promotional stuff that I'm like, something about a chicken and things, and I'm like, I don't get the reference.
Like the chicken jockey. That
was
a big thing.
Something about the chicken jockey, and I'm just like, I don't know.
The kids were throwing stuff with the,
Yeah.
Anyway, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was, it's not the best movie in the world, but it's like a hot to trot,
Right.
If you go in without a lot of expectations, you're gonna have some fun and some giggles.
We did watch before we went camping up in the Redwoods. We did watch Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World.
Oh yeah,
which was because we actually went to one of their filming locations while we were there, Fern Valley, and I realize Phoebe loves that movie, and I'm just like, man, it is just so not good compared to the first movie.
So disappointing. And it had Julianne Moore was in it.
She was so unlikable in that movie.
Oh my god! And the whole daughter thing, it just was so convoluted.
They tried to make Jeff Goldblum the main character, and he just doesn't have that energy.
Get in the high hide. Get in the high hide.
Don't go in the tall grass. Don't go in the tall grass. And then everybody runs into the tall grass.
Yeah, and Vince Vaughn. It was just he was wasted. I mean, who cares? He
had an interesting turn where it was like, no, he's not just the camera guy. He's actually a Secret Service dude or something. And I was like, but it came in 90% of the way through the movie.
Was he an ecologist or something? Or
no, he was a documentarian.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be meeting up with Julianne Moore, who was the paleontologist, eco-paleontologist or whatever.
Right.
But it was literally the whole movie. I'm watching it, and it's Jeff Goldblum is we are all going to die. We need to leave. And everyone's like, no. It's did you not see the first movie? Yes. Did you not see the first movie?
Strangely, I like Jurassic Park 3 better than 2.
3 is, it's they leaned into the camp.
3 was fun because it was so self-contained. It was just one really focused story about rescuing a kid.
Right.
And William H. Macy was great.
Téa Leoni.
Téa Leoni was great. And
it was interesting. And it had a good through. It wasn't just like, I need to go save my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which she didn't need saving. She was fine by herself.
Right.
It was like, but it had an actual good plot line, and it was interesting of like we're actually looking for a kid. Like we're, whatever. We're not just on safari. Like, it was more, and then the whole thing with the pterodactyls walking around on the bridge and stuff like that scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought in the Terrys.
Yeah.
I am not a big fan of the second round.
Yeah, the Jurassic World movies.
Yeah, the Pratt trilogy or whatever. The first one's kind of fun, and then it just,
Well, they tried the last one. They tried to bring back people from the third movie or the first trilogy, and it just was bloated, and it was just like there's too many people, too many things going on.
If I had to watch Chris Pratt put his little hand out in front of the Velociraptor one more time, I was going to punch the screen.
Yeah.
They should have all had their hands bitten off.
Yeah.
I was so sick. Come on.
I know. It's yeah. Although, and there is another movie coming out this summer, Jurassic World Rebirth.
That one looks fun.
Which I don't think I've watched any of the trailers for yet, so I have no idea.
I've seen it. I mean, not the movie, but I've seen the trailers. Yeah. I love Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
And it has a decent cast, the other people, and it seems kind of like more of an adventure. And
I just don't know what the plot is. Like, I need to watch the trailer because I don't know how it's set up. And
doesn't really give you much plot.
Another island, another island, and another island.
I don't know which of the islands that they go to, but there's a whole. I think there's like boy dinosaurs now.
It can't be the original one because that was in the last movie. It was in the last movie, I think.
Well, there's the Isla Nubar, which is the one that had the actual park on it, and then there was the one that was like the breeding one.
Yeah,
and I think that's this one. They went to the second one or the third one.
The second one was where they had like the backups,
and then they made the whole new park in the new ones.
Yeah,
there's just a lot going on, a lot of dinosaur stuff. I love dinosaurs. I'll definitely see the new one when it start streaming in 6 months.
It's really funny because Phoebe's older sister, the only way she knew that it was coming out was because there was dinosaurs on her Dr. Peppers.
Nice.
She was like, I have no idea this movie's happening. And then suddenly it's like, oh, there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex on my Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, she's got kids and things to worry about.
But it was funny because it just proves that the cross-promotion works.
Yeah. No, it does. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of good movies coming out this summer.
It's going to be a good, action blockbuster summer, hopefully.
So Jurassic Park 2 did not hold up for you?
No. But it's not. But that doesn't really surprise me because it didn't really hold up at the beginning. And there's parts of it that are fun.
Yeah, the whole trailer going over the side is fun.
Yeah.
There's some good action pieces. And
all the Tyrannosaurus working together and trying to get the baby back. And, it's like, oh, okay.
Just give them their goddamn baby back. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Idiots.
I know. Well, and it's like Julianne Moore is just so unsafe through the whole thing. She's like, we can't walk over there to do that. And then she walks right up to a Stegosaurus and starts petting him. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted to be there. She's just like, oh, man, give me an indie movie. Let me get out of here. Let me play a lesbian who's tortured by something.
Yeah.
Speaking of... No.
Tortured lesbians.
No, I did watch a couple of documentaries recently that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
They were both kind of different. The first one was the Speedway Murders, which is, I think it's from 23 or 22. It's not...
It's older. Okay.
It's a little bit older. But it was interesting. It's about these murders. I think they take place in 79. They're at the Speedway... where the Indianapolis 500 is.
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis 500.
Right.
And there's like this burger place, and these 4 kids are working the late shift, closing up, and they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And then they find their bodies a few days later, murdered. And the crime was never solved. And so... the way that they did it is they do have the talking heads and the cops and the people talking, in the interviews.
Yeah.
But it's centered around, they recreated the entire burger joint, Burger Chef or whatever it's called. And they hired 4 actors to play the
kids,
the deceased kids. And they kind of, they reenact what's going on, but they also kind of come together and talk about the evidence that was just presented. So it's like, well, it was weird because people didn't say this and that. And it's like,
right.
And then the one girl's like, they're always blaming me because they say I have a drug debt. So it was really, that part was interesting. I don't know if it was 100% successful.
Sure.
But I really like the creativity of it, because there's so many crime docs.
Yeah. To really get noticed, you gotta have really, really, really good material,
Yeah.
or present it in a way that's very interesting.
Yeah, and it's one of those documentaries that's ultimately unsatisfying because you don't find out who did it. They kind of pick who they think did it,
right,
and then kind of gear it towards that, but you still don't know. But I enjoyed it. There was another documentary that I watched that was recently released on Netflix. It came out almost a year ago, June 6, 2024.
Okay.
Played a lot of festivals, and it's called I'm Your Venus.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1988, there was a documentary that came out called Paris is Burning.
Yeah.
And we talked about it this morning. You saw it in film school.
Yeah, it was literally one of my very first classes. And I mean, and not just like first classes, like literally the first week of school.
Yeah.
Like the TA had us sit down and watch Paris is Burning. And it was a film sociology class. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you have to watch this movie. It's really fascinating. And it was great. It was my first introduction to really, like, not counterculture, but like the whole culture I didn't even know existed.
Yes.
And it was great. It's a great movie.
It's a groundbreaking film that showcases the trans community and this family that they called Extravaganza.
Yeah.
And the House of Extravaganza, which is just so cool. It sounds so cool.
Yeah.
And about the kids and the people that they bring in and become part of this family because their family doesn't really support what they do. Yeah. And they have these vogues and these, like runway walk things, dance things, and it's incredible the stuff that they do. And the House of Extravaganza is still around today. Mm-hmm. They have like a mother and a father, and then all the kids. And there's it's really interesting, and it's invaluable to the trans community. So before Paris is Burning came out, there was a very popular character in the movie called Venus Extravaganza. Mm-hmm. And before the movie came out, she was murdered.
Right.
And extremely tragic. And so this movie is about her brothers, who are these, it's going to sound horrible, like Jersey Goombas. Like, hey, what's this guy do? They're
kind of the opposite of any trans people. Yeah.
The kind of people that are like, you would expect to be anti-trans or, this is also bigoted, to think that, right? And they were, when they were younger. They admit that they weren't great to her.
Right.
But they love their sister. And they want to find the murderer of their sister. And they want to celebrate their sister. And so it's these guys, these tough Jersey boys, getting together with the House of Extravaganza to try to find out who murdered her. But they also, during the course of this, they have her home where she lived with her grandmother turned into a monument.
Okay.
And this I think is the first time that it's ever been done. They legally changed her name posthumously to get rid of her dead name.
Right.
And they were able to change all of the death certificates and everything to her name, Venus Extravaganza. Changed the tombstone.
Wow.
And it was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch these two very different groups coming together to do something super positive for a community that is under attack.
Right.
The most vulnerable segment of our society at this moment. I mean, and more than ever, we need trans visibility, trans inclusion, and positive stories about trans folks. And it was really touching. Like, I'm not one to get super, emotional or whatever, but it did. It teared me up, and it was. There's some really powerful moments in it, and some really raw emotional moments with the brothers, and there's a great scene where one of the original Extravaganza family members, who actually, lived and loved and worked with Venus, confronts the brothers. They get together, and they're real, baby. I mean, it's not like I love you. It's just tense, and it's like, but the raw emotion and the brother talking about how they want to make up for all the stuff that they did. Right. And the redemption almost.
Right, trying to make amends.
Yeah, amends, and the way that the dude from the Extravaganza family understood that. Yeah. And then they were able to come together and then accomplish these really great things. It's definitely worth a watch. Okay. I stayed up way too late watching it. I'm like, I'll watch a little bit, I'll go to bed. But I stayed up, because I had to finish it. I wanted to, and they don't really find out who the murderer is, but that's really not the point.
Right.
And that's what's great about it is, unlike the Speedway Murders documentary, which is kind of unsatisfying because it is all about who's the murderer.
Right.
It ultimately doesn't matter because they have exalted Venus to what she always wanted when she was alive. Right. Is like a beacon, a hero, an example of the fierceness and the uncompromising determination to live your own life.
Yeah.
I think the more and more, because I did a documentary called Disarm Hate, and there is some trans women in that, and I really got to know them and really got to understand what it is to be trans.
Yeah.
And in a way that it was very personal and emotional because you're right there with these people that are telling you these horrific stories of them growing up and what they've gone through and how much they struggled to get to where they are.
Right.
And I think that there's something so brave and just so like F you for somebody to live their truth where their truth is putting a target on their back.
Yeah.
Their truth is going to cause so many people to hate them for absolutely no reason. I mean, I don't understand this transphobia. It makes no sense to me. But I think it is just it's so courageous. We all talk about living our truth or being who we are, but these people are literally putting their lives on the line to live their truth and be ultimately who they want. And I think that's extremely commendable. And, I think we really need to support now more than ever, not just the LGBTQ community, but the trans folks and trans kids, even more so, with all the sports crap and everything. It's like, these kids have enough shit to go through without having the president of the United States, use them as some sort of cudgel or political prop. It's gross. So check it out. I think you'll probably like it. I was really moved by it. And, that's your documentary corner.
I'm Your Venus on Netflix. Give it a watch. The Speedway Murders was on Hulu. Yeah, streaming on the Hulu.
On the Loos. And I think that's it. I mean, I'm sure I watched other stuff. I don't really remember, so probably not worth talking about.
No, not worth talking about if you don't remember.
But let's move on to Teve, because we both watched something that we really liked. Department Q.
Oh, yes. I was like, what? It was the beginning of the month, so it's been a very long month. Department Q on Netflix. Cannot recommend it more.
Yeah.
It is 9 episodes. It is so good.
Yes.
About a cop who gets played by Matthew Good, who gets shot and should be dead but isn't, and comes back to work, and they stick him down in the basement somewhere, and they're like, here's some cold cases, just do it.
Stick him in Department Q. It's basically a giant bathroom.
It was a giant bathroom. It was
like a locker room.
Yeah.
A basement locker room.
Every new person that comes out and goes, was this a toilet?
It's great. It takes place in Scotland, which
It's so good,
I haven't
yeah.
seen a lot of Scotland crime.
No.
Thrillers.
It's so good. Matthew Good is so good in it.
And the actor that plays Akram,
Yes, Alexei Manvilov.
Alexei Manilov, he plays Akram. He's kind of this Syrian
Yeah.
enigma.
All of the characters have such interesting backstories,
Yeah.
and it's not like spoon-fed to you.
No.
Like, it comes up naturally
Yeah.
in conversation with people, or like in Akram's, he doesn't want to talk about it at all.
Yeah.
But like, and it becomes a sticking point with Matthew Good. But it's so good. Kelly MacDonald is so good in it, playing a therapist.
And it's so good to see her again.
Oh my God, she's so good.
She's timeless too, man.
She still looks like she could have just rolled out of Ewan McGregor's bed in Trainspotting.
She is charming. She is such a good actor.
So good.
So great in this. Katie Dickey, who plays Moira, she's
The head of the
cops.
head of the department,
Yeah,
or
she's
head of the
chief of police
division,
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah,
she's the boss.
the boss. And Leah Byrne, who plays Rose, she's so good.
So good.
They're just all little misfits. Like it plays out really well, and the long mystery of like what's going on for that season is done so well.
Yes.
And
Was it Chloe Pieri that played Merritt? And Merritt was the one that was kidnapped, right?
yes, she was also so good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There's not a bad person, and it's a good twisty-turny.
Yeah.
It's a good whodunit, and they really keep you guessing.
Yeah, you really don't know what's going on. I mean, it wasn't until I was so concerned. I was like, because I started watching it and I said to Jim, I was like, this is going to be one of those shows that like at the end of every episode, you're going to go, okay, I have to watch the next episode. Like I have to. And it totally was, but it kept that tension through the entire 9 episodes.
Yeah.
It was so good.
So good. This gets our highest recommendation.
Yes.
Definitely check it out. You will not be disappointed. Another Netflix show that we both watched that was fantastic was Adolescence.
Yes. Oh my God. So funny because I've been seeing a lot of advertisements for it for like awards and stuff. A lot on my YouTube of like stuff coming on, and I'll find myself watching the 90-second plus long commercial because it's the show, and I'm just like, I kind of want to watch this again.
It is so good. It's not a big commitment. It's only like 6 episodes.
Four episodes.
4 episodes. And every episode is one shot. Not a trick. Not cutting in like shadows and shit.
Highly recommend watch the show and then watch behind the scenes stuff because it is impressive how they got away with it.
Stephen Graham, who stars as Eddie Miller, the father of the son who's accused of murdering a classmate, a girl. He also co-wrote it. And was a producer. And he's not only amazing in it. But putting this thing together,
the behind the scenes stuff, it was amazing how everybody was like, the second that Stephen Graham walks on set, everyone feels better. Like he was like, he just had such confidence and control and just like positivity about, and especially with such a hard subject.
So, the conceit is the son of Stephen Graham is accused of murdering a classmate. And it deals so much with the boys who lack like a father figure or it's ambiguous, but it's like the manosphere on the internet, like the Tate brothers, these guys are like, women are bitches and you gotta like control them and this and that, and these kind of incel bullshit, faux macho wannabe men that have no idea what it is to be a man because they themselves never had a good role model, so they turn into the caricature of toxic masculinity. And as a young kid, as a young boy, that makes sense. It's such an interesting take on this. I guess it would be toxic masculinity, right? That would.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because that's not. They don't really address that ever like head on.
Right. There's not like he's watching this website.
They do some mentions about how he would hide in his room and like be online a lot, and And so the first episode is essentially about the arrest and how it goes. The second episode is about the school and finding out like the people around him, around the kid.
Right.
The third episode is so brilliant and is just the interview with his psychologist, which is so intense.
So scary.
So good.
It is so scary because it really shows what's going on in these young kids, you know?
And the fourth episode is about the family.
Yeah.
And Stephen Graham's very specifically said, I don't want this just to be about the kid. We have to talk about how everybody else gets affected and what that means for you.
Yeah.
And the last episode is so heartbreaking because they just don't understand why this happened.
Yeah.
It's like they tried so hard they were just good, normal parents.
It's such an amazing moment. I think they're in bed talking.
Yeah.
And they're like, how could we have created this?
Yeah.
And then the wife is like, well, what about our daughter?
Yeah, well, the daughter comes up and, like, essentially is like, all right, we're going to go, because it's his birthday, the dad's 50th birthday, and she's like, we're still going to go, make food and watch movies and do stuff together.
Right.
And, like, she was so positive and so just, like, and he's like, well, how did we make her?
Yeah.
Like, how did we make him and make her?
Yeah.
Like, how did this, there's just so many factors that are out of your control.
It seems like a frightening affair to be a parent these days.
Oh my God, I can't even. I mean, I'm very glad I never had kids, but
Yeah.
I could not imagine having to deal with this.
No, same. Unfortunately, our generation, the Gen X generation, we didn't get a lot of that, you know?
Yeah.
We were latchkey kids, kind of left our own devices.
Yeah.
A lot of us had shitty stepdads, had bad role models, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of us didn't have very good relationship role models, you know?
Right.
Parents get divorced, or parents that are constantly fighting that should definitely get divorced but don't.
Right.
Out of fear or, some sort of misguided need to stay together for the kids. So we were kind of the first generation to deal with a lot of this familial turmoil.
Yeah.
That, not that it didn't have it before, but it was more swept under the rug.
Yeah, but it was easier to look at TV and be like, well, everybody's perfect and like this is what we should be.
Well, yeah.
And ignoring the fact that people are human and like mistakes are going to happen and you have to grow through them.
And you weren't getting gritty storylines on Happy Days or Laverne and Shirley. It was like, oh, Richie ran out of gas and now
any little bad thing happens and then suddenly your life is just crap because it's like, well, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Like it should be. This is what I'm watching. It should be. And it's not. And that boils up in anger and it just, yeah.
And so much of our generation, so many families within our generation, it was all optics.
Yeah. Oh,
you know, how we looked.
Yeah.
To strangers was much more important than how we felt inside.
Right.
And so,
gotta put on that happy face.
Oh, yeah. What would the neighbors think?
Oh, yeah.
That was a mantra. But, keep your business to yourself, you know? And so a lot of repression, a lot of confusion. Just navigating what it is to be a parent these days. And I have some friends with kids. And luckily they're really good parents. Yeah, I was talking to a good friend of mine yesterday, and he's a single dad, and he's got custody of his daughter, and he loves it. And she's great, and they have a great relationship because he's a really good dad, and he's present in her life, but he's not, overbearing, and they seem to really have it down, in terms, and but it's not always that way. And not everybody has that capacity within them. And I don't know.
And sometimes you do everything right and things still turn out like shit.
Exactly. It's unpredictability.
Yeah.
It's the same thing of like being in a relationship or anything. There's always going to be the unpredictability of the other person.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to. Nobody's a unit.
Right.
Nobody is so lockstep, and if they are, they're fooling themselves,
Yeah, if they are, then there's much other issues. Yeah.
But regardless, parent or not, Adolescence is an absolutely brilliant show.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. It's interesting because we're coming up next week, or starting our month of Kids in Trouble.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to watch Adolescence again before the next Stepdad show.
Oh, me too.
Because I think it'll fit in well with the movies we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
And comparing and contrasting, I think will be really interesting.
Yeah, because we'll be watching something from the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
I think 2 from the 80s.
2 from the 80s, yeah.
1 from the 70s. But the one next week, Over the Edge, is such a brilliant movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of those movies like Kids, Harmony Korine's Kids,
Yeah.
that completely captures the truth of the youth of the time.
Yeah.
And it's just so, the kids are real, you know?
Right.
There's no bullshit. There's no churching it up. There's no clever dialogue or, you know, cutesy cutes. It's all just warts and all. It's going to be great. It's going to be a fun month.
But for me, really, what Adolescence, it could have been very powerful just being a straightforward, like, shot, like, edited show for 4 episodes, because it was really good. The actors were really good. But they shot it like a play. It was literally, you have to watch some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. It was crazy how they were literally handing the camera off to, like, 14 different cameramen during and the way they did it is that they had enough budget to shoot each episode 10 times.
Oh, wow.
And it was really interesting because the first episode, they literally would shoot it twice a day from Monday through Friday. And the first episode, they end up getting on the second take, but they did the rest of them, you know, anyway. But it was the second take. But all the other episodes were the very last take.
Oh.
All of them. Because something would go wrong or something wouldn't happen or something wouldn't quite sit right. But it was fascinating how, like, there's a point where during the school episode, the second episode, where they, like, all of a sudden the camera is like it's like flying up and you're like got this overhead thing and it was like there's no way this was real.
Yeah.
And they literally attached the camera to a drone.
It is insane, but it's not a gimmick.
It flows so well.
But not only that it flows, that type of filmmaking really gets you into the story too.
It's so cinema verite.
Well, you're just in it.
Yeah.
When there's no cuts or breaks,
you feel like you're a character in the show.
You're walking with them. You're going to the police station with them. You are in the car with them.
So good.
Yeah. Both of these shows are brilliant. And you can get through both of them in a weekend. And I would definitely recommend it.
If you start Department Q, just be aware you will probably sit down and watch all of it in one sitting.
It's funny. I was recommending it to my brother-in-law, and he's like, well, you know, I get with these shows, and then I just watch one after the other, and I'm up until 2 a.m. And I'm like, well, this one's going to keep you up till 4 a.m., pal.
It
Sorry.
Will. You will have to watch the next episode. Yeah, it was so good.
Very good.
Both of them are very good. Netflix is really killing it right now with some of their original shows. So, and they are doing a second season of Department Q.
Yes.
I did just hear another great show on Netflix, Black Doves. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Black Doves with Keira Knightley.
Yeah.
They are doing a second season, which was supposed to be coming out next year in 2026. Shooting was supposed to start this week. It's been pushed for like 4 months. No. So it's probably not coming out till 2027.
Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me sad.
Yeah, me too. That's such a great show. There's another show that I really enjoyed, Mobland.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's Helen Mirren and Remington Steele. Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
It's Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan are the matriarch and patriarch of this crime family in London, and Tom Hardy plays their kind of fixer.
Okay.
And Patty Constantine is the son and best friend of Tom Hardy. And oh my God, man, Pierce Brosnan, probably the best thing he's ever done.
Wow.
He is so out of control. She's nuts in this.
Nice.
And Helen Mirren is nuts in this. She is out of control.
And this was from Guy Ritchie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been killing it with the shows.
This it took me a while to watch it. It was recommended by a friend of ours, Perry. Mm-hmm. It's like, you got to watch it. I'm very hit or miss with Tom Hardy. I don't like dumb Tom Hardy, but he ain't dumb Tom Hardy in this.
Yeah,
he's working it out, and he's really good. And like when Tom Hardy's got the right part and the right director and the right, everything comes together. He's great.
Right.
And I really enjoyed him in this. And also, it was renewed for a second season.
Oh, nice.
So it's coming back. But again, really cool twists and turns. I know you're not a mob guy, but it's like an English mob thing. So
I
it's
am more intrigued by English mob stuff,
Yeah.
which is funny because it's Guy Ritchie thing,
Yeah.
like The Gentleman or like his mob movies and stuff
Yeah.
are really great. He had the show on Netflix, The Gentleman, which I still haven't watched yet. But
Same.
it's supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved the movie. So like, it's so funny because English mob, I'm very interested in. American mob stuff, I just don't care.
Well, it's really funny. All of these shows
Yeah.
are European.
I know. Yes. Yes. Well, hey, man. Sometimes it's good. That's just the way it is.
But I was glad to hear that it was renewed for a second season because it ends in a way that's very compelling.
Okay.
And it could end or it could lend itself to a
And
second season.
it's airing on Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is funny because they have great content, but man, the Paramount Plus app just sucks.
Oh, the infrastructure is
Terrible.
Garbage.
Garbage. Yeah.
You know what drives me crazy about Paramount Plus now? It doesn't track anything that I watch.
Yeah.
So, watching Mobland, I had to go back and make sure I knew which episode it was because
Right,
we would go
right.
back to. And
It's so weird.
you can't stop watching something
No.
and then get back to it. You have
No.
to. So I would,
You would have to-
consciously be like, okay, I'm at 17 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to track back
Let me
to
write
that.
it down in my journal and make sure that I'm.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Get your shit together,
Yeah.
Paramount.
It's awful.
No wonder you're failing. My God.
Yeah.
One other quick show. It's on HBO Max, which I think is HBO Max again now.
Yes, it is now.
Or
Yes.
coming soon. Back to HBO. Oh, God.
It doesn't matter
Zaslav.
because possibly Sony's going to buy Warner Brothers Digital, and then it's going to be something else entirely.
Which, I don't know. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
It's just so poorly run. But there is a show that I just kind of snuck up on me. It's, strangely enough, I think a CW show, but it's also
Okay.
a BBC show. But it's Sherlock and Daughter.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes nerd. I loved the books as a kid.
Yeah.
I love the old Basil Rathbone Basil Rathbone movies.
Yeah.
I could take or leave the Guy Ritchie. I can take or leave.
They were fun.
The first one was fun.
They were fun. I mean, it was a weird modern take, or modern classical take. But anyway,
As
yeah.
a Sherlock Holmes purist,
Sure.
it was just seemed a little bit too, superhero-y.
Right. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah.
But I did enjoy Jude Law. But this has David Thewlis playing Sherlock. Amazing actor. I've loved him since I saw him in Mike Leigh's Naked back
Yeah.
in 80-something. It was like,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen that movie, it's basically an hour and a half, 2-hour monologue of David Thewlis just being an asshole.
Oh wow.
But in such an entertaining way. He's so captivating in that movie. As soon as I saw that movie, I'm like, I want to see everything that this guy does from now on.
Right.
David Thewlis. And I have. He plays Sherlock, this young woman from America whose mother is part Native American and part, I think, from Mexico. She gets murdered. And so she told her daughter, if anything ever happens to her, go find Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah,
So she
yeah.
goes to England to find Sherlock Holmes. And he may or may not be her father. He's probably her father.
Right.
But they get, it's kind of this, I don't believe you, but maybe I believe you. And
Right,
but then they kind of team up, and it's a neat little team up, and it's a fun little Sherlock Holmes thing. It's nowhere near as good as any of the things that we've been talking about.
Right.
But it's more, I've really enjoyed it as kind of just a, like an ice cream sundae. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Thewlis is great. He's trying to find both his housekeeper and Watson have been kidnapped.
No, yeah.
So he's trying to find them. There's this group of international criminals, like the Red String people, and they leave red string stuff. And they told him if he gets involved in any investigations with this, they will kill.
Oh.
So he has to so he gets his daughter to be the investigator.
Right.
And there's this whole thing about the murder, and then he meets Moriarty, and Moriarty's played by forget him. He was like one of the bad guys in one of the Mission Impossible movies, but he's a good actor. You haven't seen him in a long time.
Dougray Scott?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I just pulled that out of my ass.
Ow, you're brilliant. Oh my God, you're a magician. But he was really good.
That's funny. I have not seen him in anything in like 10 years, 15 years.
And then his son was shipped off to Australia.
Yeah.
But he's back, and there's this whole thing going on, and it's really interesting, and it's a fun little mystery.
Okay.
And
all right.
I think I'm almost through it. That, and then the last thing I want to talk about on TV is Duster.
Okay.
The J.J. Abrams show.
Yeah.
With Josh Holloway. Is that
Josh
from
Holloway.
Lost?
Yeah.
It's fun, man. It's a fun 70s. It clicks my boxes, baby.
Yeah.
70s. It's got, is it Keith David? David Keith.
Is he black or white?
He's black.
Then it's David Keith.
David Keith. We always get it wrong.
Keith David.
Always get it wrong. But anything he's in, I love him so much. So much. And he's really good in it.
Yeah,
and
Keith David.
Yeah. So there's this African-American FBI agent. She's like the first, FBI agent or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she goes she's on a quest to get Keith David, or David Keith.
Keith David.
Keith David, thank you. She's on a quest to get him because she thinks he killed her father.
Okay. So
she hooks up with Josh Holloway, who works for
Keith David.
And she's like, I think he killed your brother.
Oh.
And
so we gotta go find him. And
so it's like an undercover kind of thing, but it's got Rachel Hilson plays the woman that I was talking about.
Okay.
FBI agent. She's great.
Holy shit, Corbin Burnson's in it.
That's what I was talking about. Corbin Burnson plays Holloway's dad.
Oh, okay. That
brilliant
makes sense.
in it.
That totally makes sense.
Absolutely brilliant in it. And Cale O'Grady plays his stepmom, and their relationship is hilarious. Greg Grunberg is in it, of course, because it's J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
And he's great. But the craziest was Donald Logue is in it.
Yeah.
And I did not recognize. He looks so old.
Oh, really?
And I think it was for the part, maybe.
Yeah.
But he does not look anything like he used to look.
That's crazy.
And so great in it. But so far, I've really enjoyed it. It's a great little 70s ride, a cool summer action show.
I'll have to check it out. I love Josh Holloway.
Well, then you'll love it.
I'll have to check it out, yeah.
Then you'll love it because he's super charming in it. And it's just one of those fun J.J. Abrams, funny show.
Throwback.
Yeah,
thing.
much like Sherlock and Daughter. It's it's ice cream cones.
Yeah,
but after you get through adolescence and you need some ice cream.
Yeah.
Either watch Duster or Sherlock and Daughter.
I do want to mention a couple of game shows that have come back for the summer. One is The Quiz with Balls, which came back, and they did reformat it a little bit, so it's a little more interesting. But it's still, at the end of the day, it's giant balls that come down and hit you in the back if you get the answer wrong.
Love it.
And throws you into water. That's why you watch the show.
I love it.
It's fine. I mean, it's really campy and it's fine, but it's interesting.
Who's the host?
It's
Jay Farrow.
Yes.
Is it Jay Farrow?
I think it is. Yes.
Wow, I Doug Ray Scotted you.
You did. Yeah, Jay Farrow. Yeah, he's fine. I mean, like, he's not the best host, but like he has good interaction with the people, the families and stuff. But it's fun. A couple of episodes there. It's not one of those. It's totally popcorn. Like, you watch it just because you want to cleanse your mind of any nastiness. But the other is the 1% Club came back. Oh. It was originally on Amazon Prime and hosted by Patton Oswalt on Amazon Prime. It originally was a BBC show or a British show. Uh-huh. And essentially 100 people, and then you could ask questions. Like 90% of the people got this right, 80% all the way down to 1%. So apparently it did well enough on Prime that Fox, like, essentially stole it from them. Oh. It's now airing on Fox, and it's being hosted by Joel...
Hodges?
Joel...
McHale?
McHale.
Oh.
It's being hosted by Joel McHale. Who, granted, I love Joel McHale. He's fine. But he's just not Patton Oswalt.
Well, Joel McHale, and I like Joel McHale too. But Joel McHale is always Joel McHale.
I am pretty sure that for some reason he has some deal with Fox where they have to put him in a show every year.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's on that Animal Control show.
He's on that, which is still airing, but he was also in this like mystery, like... It was a cooking show, like a baking show, but it was like you had to go in and figure out, like it was like a crime scene. You had to figure out what they made and then try to make it. And that show was really good. It aired for 2 seasons. I think it's dead. I don't think it's coming back, but he hosted and it was funny.
Yeah.
Like he was really funny. And He's fine. I think if I didn't see the first season with Patton Oswalt, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But like, he just doesn't quite have the charm.
Well, he doesn't connect with people.
No.
As well.
No.
He's there's an arrogance.
Yes,
to him,
yes.
which is part of his shtick.
Although there was a great moment in the first episode we watched where a guy was like, he got out, and of course they talk to people that get the answers wrong, especially when it's a stupid easy question. And the guy was like, well, I really think that women have been writing these. And Joel McHale was like, so what are you going to do after this if you win with the money? And he hadn't, I don't think he had gotten out, but he was like, what are you going to do with the money? Which obviously is not getting a girlfriend. And it was so biting, but it was so perfect because the guy was like, yeah, shouldn't have said that.
Yep.
But anyway, it's back. I love the show. It's really great. Because you get to play along and it's some of it's really hard.
Nice.
But it's a great show. Anyway, I love game shows, so I'm just happy that it came back and there's new episodes of it.
Well, I'll have to check it out. Do you watch Taskmaster?
Of course I do.
Doesn't that have
the new season has Jason Mantzoukas. I have not. We're still 2 seasons behind, so I've not watched it yet.
I'm just glad to see Jason getting work. I love him so much.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
I am very, very curious to watch. I watch them through YouTube, through their, I think it's the Alex Horn's, like his not personal channel, but like it's set up. It's a whole other ad revenue for them.
Oh.
But I watch it all through YouTube, but it's all on there. I highly recommend it. The show is phenomenal. I mean, it did so well. They tried to do an American one, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But they've done like an Australian one that's doing really well. They have a junior Taskmaster that's doing really well.
Well, what's the deal?
So the idea is that essentially over the course of like 4 months, they have 5 comedians essentially do tasks. They're set up by the Taskmaster, who is Greg Davis, who's a very tall. He's like 6'8", 6'7", 6'8". He's very huge, very big guy. But he's a very funny comedian. But he's the Taskmaster. And even though technically the show was created by Alex Horn, who plays his assistant, the Taskmaster's assistant, who just gets shit on constantly by Greg Davis.
Nice.
It's really funny. He calls him Little Alex Horn, even though Alex Horn is like 6'3". But because he's like 5 inches shorter, he calls him Little Alex Horn. But the whole thing is that over the course of 4 months, they shoot all these like tasks, and except for team tasks, the comedians have no idea who else is on the show.
Oh.
And they do it all alone. So it's just shooting. They have a house somewhere in England, and they shoot all this stuff. They do all this stuff, and then they'll edit it together and then do essentially 10 live shows where they have the comedians come on, and then they essentially make fun of them for doing things badly or doing things well, or whatever. Like, it's a really interesting setup. He originally did it for the Edinburgh Comedy Festival, or the Edinburgh Fringe Fest.
Right.
He set that up, but it just took off and it's so funny.
Right on.
Absolutely great. Highly recommend Taskmaster. It's really great.
All right. So, Department Q.
Yeah.
Adolescence.
Oh God, both are so good.
And when she wants to cleanse your palate, get a little duster or
or some quiz with balls.
quiz with balls.
If you really want to cleanse your palate, quiz with balls.
The 1% and Sherlock and Daughter on Max.
Yeah.
And Duster's also on Max as well.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the old video games now.
Yes, video games.
We thought it would be interesting to talk about, because we like to talk about stuff, for people that are maybe thinking about getting into video games or kind of have dipped their toe and may want to get a little bit more serious. And we wanted to discuss, like, subscription plans. And mainly, because we're console players,
Yeah.
It would either be Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
We don't really... I used to be Xbox Live years ago, but I haven't had an Xbox for quite a while.
Yeah.
So I'm not part of that. But you can... The thing about Xbox Live that's interesting is you can subscribe to that without having an Xbox.
Right.
You can do it through some TVs. You can just get a controller and do it. I mean, it's all
like streaming. Yeah. It's essentially it's a Game Pass where pretty much anything that has been released on Xbox is available for you to play.
And from what I've heard, the Game Pass is pretty cool about first day releases and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a different service than what we have, which is PlayStation Plus.
Right.
PlayStation Plus used to be just one tier.
Yeah.
Where you paid $50 a year, and you get a couple of free games a month.
Yeah.
And-
You had to have it to be able to play online.
Yes.
Like you had to.
Well, now you do, yeah.
It was that way back then.
Oh, was it?
Yes. When it first started, it was the only way you could play online was to essentially purchase a subscription
Cheeky.
to get online, which was fine. But then eventually they started doing the free games because they realized people were like, "Why am I paying to get online? Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Microsoft." But or Xbox. But they finally were like, "Okay, we'll start giving you free games. As long as you keep subscribing to PlayStation Plus, you will have those games forever."
That is what really bothers me, is that, I get the PlayStation Plus for the games.
Yeah.
For the games each month because, as somebody who doesn't buy a lot of games, it's a great way to try new stuff out.
Yeah. I mean, you get essentially 36, sometimes more than that every year. I mean, it's like,
The collection is huge because I've had this for 10 years or so.
I think I've got like 400 games.
Something, and they're all
Something
free.
like that. Yeah.
But this whole leasing of games situation troubles me.
Yeah.
That you can't own your games,
Yeah.
It bums me out. I mean, it's like, every other console, if you have an Atari or Sega or a Nintendo, you can just plug it in, put the cartridge in, and play your games,
Which with PlayStation, you can do that. If you physically buy the games, then you own those games.
Physically.
If
you buy them digitally, not so much.
It's a crapshoot.
Yeah. Because they can literally go in and excise the game from your library.
Yeah.
And if you decide not to do PlayStation Plus, then you lose all of the games from your library, which is a bummer, I think, because you've paid for that service. You're paying for the games. You should be able to keep the goddamn games.
I feel a little differently about it. I understand where Sony's coming from because it's like, well, if you want to keep playing the games, then keep buying the service.
Yeah.
And I get that. I mean, technically I kind of look at them as being on loan to me.
Yeah.
As long as I keep buying and I have zero. I mean, I'm going to be part of PlayStation Plus forever. I mean, I have no intention of ever getting rid of it.
Yeah.
And at this point now, just because you get the free games, I don't really do online very much anymore.
Yeah, same.
But you're getting the free games, and it's kind of like, okay, and it's now like $60 or $70 a year, I think, for the lowest tier.
Yeah.
They do have a middle tier, which is like $100 that you get access to more games and a little bit of the library.
Yeah.
And then the premium, which is like $140 a year.
Yeah.
That you get access to so many other games.
Yeah, you get access to PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4 games. You also get access to some really in-depth demos.
Yeah.
Deep discounts.
In about 20, I would say 20 to 25 full games every month.
Yeah.
But they're usually only on for the month.
Right.
And it's like, if you don't finish playing it, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, and some of these games are, hundreds of hours of RPG.
Yeah, I mean, how do you get through Valhalla? Like, how do you get through Assassin's Creed Valhalla in 1 month?
I've thought about upping the tier, when I've got like 3 months left. And like, if you paid $20, then you get the thing.
You get the,
just to see what it's like. But I also know that I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to play a lot of those games.
Right.
Because I have enough games on my pile of unplayed games.
Exactly.
That I need to tackle anyway. And I probably, anything that's old that I would have wanted to play, I probably have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you have.
Yeah. I mean, there's the stuff I really like I've bought, and I've either purchased. I mean, some of it digitally, but most of it is physical.
But I will say the very cool thing about it is sometimes you get a game that completely surprises you.
Yeah.
And this month there was a game that we both were like, what?
Yeah.
But totally captured us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And surprise, it's like a roguelite RPG-esque poker game.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
It's a card game.
But it's the only... I'm not a fan of roguelikes or roguelites.
Either.
Which I don't know what the difference between a light and a like. I guess the light is less roguelike than a like.
I guess.
Whew. But what it is you do runs on these roguelikes. So it's like you go through, and then when you die, you have to start over.
Right.
You lose everything that you have, and you have to start all over.
But you've unlocked other things.
Sure.
Yeah.
In most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's perfect because a run can take you anywhere from like 20 minutes to like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Depending on how good you do. And there's so much strategy to it, and there's so much planning and thinking and strategizing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it is so addictive. Their game loop is so addictive.
It is. It is. It is an easy game to pick up and play for 20 minutes or an hour, or suddenly find yourself playing it for 4 hours.
And then it's also one of those games too that once you kind of get it, and all the moving parts and how they work together, it becomes so much more interesting.
Yes, Yes. By the way, the name of the game is Balatro.
Balatro, yes.
Yeah. Or Balatro. I don't even know. It's
tomato.
Like any good card game, I don't really know how to pronounce the title.
Right. Like Pooker or Poker.
Pioker, I think. Yeah.
Bleak Juke.
And Hearts. Yeah. Hearts. And Spads. But it was funny because there was a point where I realized there's certain cards and like the order of the cards, because it adds up points.
Yeah.
And the order of the cards matter.
Yep.
And there were certain cards I realized because at a certain point they're like, you have to do 8 runs. To do a successful run, you have to do 8 like levels.
Yes.
And at one point, it's like you have to get like 100,000 chips. And it's like, how?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Seems impossible.
And then I finally cracked the code and realized that you needed, multipliers.
Yeah.
And then it was
because there's
like,
all these cards that do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's not just straight poker. There's like, cards that add up multipliers and this and that. And like Adam said, the order in which they're used is important, and the way that you discard cards is important, and so and the perks that you pick are important.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that it's a perfect game if you got a half hour.
Yeah.
And you just want to challenge your mind a little bit and escape, and it's just perfect for that.
So good. It's so good.
I'm so surprised at how much I enjoyed that game.
I have considered buying it for so long because I've heard so many good things about it.
But I didn't believe it. It was like, it's one of those things where I keep hearing, it's great, it's great.
But how?
Great.
How? It's a card game.
Yes.
How?
And a card game RPG, and it ticks a lot of boxes of shit that I don't like.
Yeah.
But somehow
because it was part of the PlayStation Plus, which is still available.
Yes.
It'll be available for the next 3 days. So if you
Yes.
have PlayStation Plus, definitely download it. Get
or
the
if you
license
get
for it.
PlayStation
Yeah,
Plus. If you're thinking about getting
get it.
PlayStation Plus, it's a good time to do it.
But yeah, it's so addictive. It is so addictive.
Yeah. I think it's available on mobile, and it's available on Steam if you're a PC gamer.
And it's not a crazy expensive game.
Yeah. It's an indie. It's just another one of those really clever indies, man.
Yeah.
And we're champions of the indie games.
Yeah.
We love indie games, and the more the better. And this one is just one of those lightning in a bottle type of perfect little contained joy.
It has been. I mean, technically, we got it quote unquote free, but it is so good that I'm literally considering buying it for my phone because I want to be able to play it elsewhere.
Yeah,
because it is that good, time killer.
Yes.
And it's like I'll pay $5 for it on my phone. Sure.
Yeah.
It's just, but easily be able to play on your phone.
But that's one of the things that's great about PS Plus is you get to discover a lot of stuff that you normally wouldn't play. Because I think it's the 15-year anniversary of PlayStation Plus.
Correct. Yes.
So they're going to be doing some other perks and things around that. Some months just suck.
Yeah.
You know? You'll get like a bunch of sports games that you won't want to play.
Or you play for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like next month, along with Diablo 4, there's like a King of Fighters game, which I want to believe that I like fighting games, but then I play them for like 10 minutes and I'm like, okay, I'm bored.
It's so funny that they like my go-to games of the past, which were like brawlers and fighter games and sports games.
Yeah.
Like I was a huge FIFA guy for decades, and I don't play any of that shit anymore.
It's so funny because last year I bought the college football game and I was so excited about it. I played it for like 2 weeks and then I stopped playing it.
I almost picked that up. It's $9 at Amazon.
Then it's 100%. It's so much fun. But there's a new one coming out.
Yeah, that's why it's $9 on Amazon.
But I know I have it if I do get the itch to want to play. It's like the golfing games, you know? Like every once in a while I get that itch. I want to play some golf. So you've got it. There's a game you can play.
The golfing games, to me, are like your college football games.
Yeah,
like those are my sport game now that I'll get into
right.
and play for a while and then get frustrated.
Now I just need them to do a college basketball game, and then I'll be happy.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they will.
I'm sure, yeah.
You know.
But other new game that's coming out in July is something called like Justra or something. But it's a climbing game. Ooh. And I had never heard of this. It's an indie game. I'd never heard of it. I always look on Reddit, the PlayStation subreddit. People just loved it. And some guy was like, I just bought it for $12.50. And like, it's like, well, somebody literally was like, thank you for your service. And it's like, but people talked about how great it was. It's like, it's not, it only lasts like maybe 5 hours, but like it's enough to keep you invested, but not complicated enough to get you turned off of it. But it's just a puzzle game figuring out how to climb to the top of this tower.
Sounds cool.
And it looks cool. And I'm just like, but this is what's great about PlayStation Plus. I would never have bought this.
No.
But it sounds interesting.
Same with Balatro. I mean, even though I was hovering it, I still did not believe that it could be good.
I never pulled the trigger because there was always something in the back of my mind. Yeah.
It's funny. But so that's the thing. I would recommend PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
100% because at least the essential tier, the lowest tier.
Yeah.
Because it averages out. Even if they raised it to $80, it's still less than like $7 a month.
Yeah, and you're getting literally 3 games every month.
And some games are $50 games.
Couple months ago, they had Alone in the Dark, the remake Alone in the Dark, which I was like, no, I'd love to play it. I'm not going to pay $60 for it.
No.
And there it was. Gave it to us for free.
It's got David Harbour and
Jodie Comer,
and you could play through it twice. As each person. I started it. I don't know. I haven't played it enough to.
I'm probably going to wait until like Halloween to play through it.
Yeah.
But the fact is that they gave it to you.
Yeah.
It was a big game.
Yeah, and it's also a way for, because we talked about this last week. I think we talked about this last month that people, we're getting priced out of games, and games are getting more expensive, and we're dipping our toes into $80 games, and they're going to be dipping their toes in $100 games.
GTA 6.
Everybody's freaking out that GTA 6 is going to be $100.
It's going to be $99.
Yeah, the first one. And I don't think that's going to happen. I'm thinking 80.
100% think it's going to happen.
I think they'll have a deluxe edition or something that is 100. I'm hoping. Because that's too much of a jump.
Yeah, I know.
I
don't disagree.
We just jumped from 70 to 80. I mean, we just jumped from 60 to 70.
Yeah.
And I think 70, even 75, for certain games, I get it. There are Cyberpunk is hundreds of hours,
Sure.
GTA 5, I've years and years of entertainment.
Sure.
And I bought that thing 3 times.
Yeah, we bought it multiple times. So.
Upgrade, so it wasn't like full price or whatever.
Yeah.
But with games getting so expensive, this is an economical way to be able to get games every month.
Yeah.
And if you have kids, it's a good way to get your kids games every month without having to go out and spend $300 or $400 to get what's new, And you get extra discounts on on their sales and stuff. So
yeah, I just picked up this War of Mine, which is I don't remember the name of the company, but it was like 90% off. It was like $2.50 for a complete game that had like 4 or 5 like DLCs with it, and it's it's an indie game, and it's the same company just did The Alters, which just came out, which I'm also very interested in.
Yes.
But again, probably not going to buy it until it's either way cheap or it ends up in the being a free game in PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
But and who knows? Maybe I'll get to the point where it's like, okay, this is worth $20.
Sure.
But it's the discounts are great. I mean, the extra discounts are great because it's like you're almost like, how can I not buy this for $2?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of 99-cent, $1.49.
Yeah.
Where it's just like
$1.99 games.
Yeah, but they're fun little quick indie, like 8-bitters or 16-bitters, and
they're fun. Yeah.
It scratches that retro itch of when we were kids and playing Galaga at the Pizza Hut, on the table,
and Ms. Pac-Man.
Oh, I miss Pizza Hut, man.
I know.
Having them pitchers of root beer, and they bring the pizza to your table, and while you're waiting, you're playing Ms. Pac-Man or Galaga on those awesome table video games.
There's a great documentary coming out about Pizza Hut buildings that have been repurposed into like either other businesses or like rec centers, or like one guy even made it his house.
Wow, I would love it.
But like
Pizza Hut house.
the entry, he like remade into like the actual like entryway of like the the tabletop like
nice
game and all that, like the same chairs and stuff. But it's a documentary coming out. The two people, they've been very active on Reddit, like promoting it. But the husband and wife team that made this, they were just fascinated with these old Pizza Huts.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
But it looks great. I mean, it'll be on streaming eventually. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm totally down for that. Man.
Yeah,
Pizza
it looks
Hut,
super fun.
Pizza Hut was a restaurant when we were kids.
I know.
It was like,
they had a salad bar.
Yes. Oh man, it was
those red cups, man. God, I want to get a hold of some of those red cups.
Red cups and those plastic pitchers.
Yeah.
The sticky tables.
Oh.
And that just
pizza
smell.
was so good.
Oh yeah, and the pan pizza, baby,
greasy and delicious.
Perfect.
Ugh, now I'm getting hungry.
Me too. Well, I think that's probably about it.
I think that's it. We should probably go get some food.
Yeah, let's go get some Pizza Hut, and we're gonna, I don't know, let's go watch Jaws.
Yeah. 4th of July. It's gonna be good.
Well, I think for 4th of July, I'm gonna do my old tradition where I'll get a 6-pack. And I'll drink it while I watch all 4 Jaws movies.
Nice.
And then by the time the 6-pack is done, it's Jaws 4, and I'll take a nap.
All right, we'll be back next week with a beginning of our Kids in Trouble month, talking about Over the Edge, which we are very excited for.
Oh, yeah. I loved that movie as a kid. Been a while since I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to hold up. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I've never seen it, so I'm hoping it's good.
Then we're going to be doing Bad Boys with Sean Penn.
So many people in that movie.
Oh my God,
so many.
Clancy Brown is a bad boy.
They're all Eastside Morales.
Oh yeah, Eastside.
Yeah.
I used to party with Eastside.
Oh, nice. And then finishing up with River's Edge.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Crispin Glover. I was gonna say Toby Hooper, but nope. Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hooper Hopper.
Different director. Yeah.
Classic.
I again
movie.
have never seen any of these movies, so I'm very excited.
All these movies portray the kids in a very realistic way.
Yeah.
Especially Over the Edge. And I'm really excited to see him again. I think it's going to be a really fun month.
Yeah.
Oh, lock up your kids, babies, because we're going to get them in trouble. It's crazy. So, the conceit is... We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming, Moonlighting, already in progress.